After Sora and Shiro, the brother-sister pair, beat the god of games in a match, they got transported to another world. In this world, everything can be settled through games. And the human royal capital was holding a game tournament to elect a new king. Stephanie, the granddaughter of the former king, had even lost all her clothes in a game. She tracked down Sora and Shiro, lashing out at Sora. Why hadn't he helped her when he knew the other side was cheating? Sora mocked Stephanie, saying, "Blaming others for your own failures. Typical of the Fool King's bloodline." Stephanie was fuming. Sora proposed a rock-paper-scissors challenge. The winner could make the loser do anything. He also said he'd only play paper. If he played anything else, he'd count it as a loss. If it was a tie, he'd tell her how her opponent had cheated. But Stephanie would have to grant Sora a wish in return. Sora told Stephanie he had no money and was about to be homeless. Stephanie figured he wanted a place to stay and agreed. Stephanie thought long and hard about how to win, and finally realized the only way was to play scissors. The rock-paper-scissors started. Stephanie's scissors lost to Sora's rock. Sora said he'd promised that playing anything other than paper would count as a loss. So even though he'd won, it was technically a draw. Stephanie figured a draw just meant she'd put him up. But Sora didn't want that. He'd only mentioned being broke and homeless. That's when Stephanie realized she'd been played. Sora stated his wish, for Stephanie to fall in love with him. Because if Stephanie loved him, money and a place to stay would come easily. Shiro pouted and said, "Onii-chan, you're just adding your own personal desires, aren't you?" Sora felt pretty sheepish. Under the 10 Covenants' power, Stephanie fell in love with Sora. Sora and Shiro successfully moved into the royal palace. They also learned that humans, unable to use magic, ranked dead last among the 16 races. Sora and Shiro spent a single night learning the world's language and reading piles of books. The king tournament wrapped up, with Kurami taking the win. She tossed the clothes she'd won from Stephanie onto the ground and insulted her. Sora picked up the clothes from the floor and handed them to Kurami, saying, "Covenant 6, these are yours, for now." Sora said he was thrilled and decided to be king for a bit, just for kicks.